Hello and welcome to Caroline's Library, where we dive into the world of manga, anime, and more. Today we are talking about a manga with one of the wildest first chapters that I've read in a while. That series is Daemons of the Shadow Realm. So let's dive into a quick high-level review of Chapter 1. The story starts with a flashback to the birth of two twins and a prophecy. With that, we fast forward to the present day, where we're in a remote village deep in the mountains that gives off feudal Japan vibes. Think bow and arrows, villagers managing their farms, and traveling merchants selling their wares. This is where we meet one of the twins, Yuru, a capable and kind teenager returning from a hunt. As he makes his way through the village, we get a sense of the camaraderie among the villagers. But at first glance, what seems like a normal situation quickly deteriorates as Yuru seeks out his twin sister Asa, who, for whatever reason, is kept in a dungeon cell, locked away and restricted from interacting with the other villagers. And right as you start to question why she's imprisoned, the town is suddenly attacked, but not by what you might expect in a feudal era. Instead, suddenly helicopters swoop in with invaders wielding guns, and to top it off, there are a couple magic users accompanied by spectral monstrosities who quickly and violently destroy everything in their path. And the questions just keep piling up as you and the MC try to figure out what is going on. But there's no time to explain because we learn that the invaders are after Yuru. Of course, not wanting to abandon his sister by fleeing the village on his own like his parents did, he makes his way back to her dungeon cell, only to come face to face with another Asa? But par for the course, explanations will have to wait because it is essential that Yuru gets to safety, and with the help of Dara, one of the traveling merchants, he makes it to the village entrance marked by two guardian statues. As Yuru's head is spinning, Dara insists that he put some pendant into a slot, and after an unexpected bloody nose, he awakens the guardian statues. Two of what we will learn are called Daemons, pairs of powerful, supernatural entities that serve as guardians, weapons, or allies to their master. Honestly, it kind of reminded me of Mulan when she awakened her ancestral statue to get her dragon. Oh, and yeah, all of this happens in Chapter 1. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, Daemons of the Shadow Realm has one of the wildest first chapters that I've seen in a while. Okay, we're in a remote village, potentially during the feudal Japan era, but oh wait, are those airplanes and helicopters? We've got a traveling merchant who stops by to sell his wares, but hold on, he's actually from the real world, some sort of trained killer capable of seeing daemons, and not from an equally remote bygone village? Sure, okay. We've got a sister who was locked away for reasons unknown, and she's an imposter. Oh, and what is going on with this magic system? Why are there massive teeth? My head was spinning, but in a good way, because let me tell you, the story got my attention real quick. Just like Dorohedoro and Gachiakuta, this series has a very strong start. I guess I just like my chaos. And with a chapter 1 like that, obviously there are lots of questions. For starters, why is there a hidden village in the first place? Why did the real Asa invade the village to kill everyone, including innocents? Are the villagers innocent, or are all of them aware of some sort of scheme? Is Asa evil? Is the village head evil? Who is the real enemy? And you feel for Yuru, who was abandoned by his parents at a young age, has been fooled by his fake sister and parts of his own village for his entire life. Pretty much everything he knew is up in smoke, and that has got to be disheartening and frustrating. Who can he trust? Who hasn't been lying to him? Similarly for the real Asa, who was in a dungeon cell throughout her childhood only to escape, lose her parents, and end up in a slightly nicer version of a prison cell, she has never known freedom, and at this point she seems too scared to want it. I mean, these two twins have lived harsh lives, all because of a prophecy they didn't ask for. Luckily, there are some funny moments to lighten this heavy tone. Like when we realize that Yuru and his daemons have to learn about the real world real quick. Like cars, phones, toilets, TVs. It's all new and novel for them, and their learning curve is hilarious. And as we experience the real world with Yuru, we meet more daemons and learn that they can come in a variety of shapes and sizes. From cute creatures like dogs and cats to something more similar to humans to outright terrifying monsters. The only foundational similarity is that they always come in pairs, and the pairs always make sense as compatible opposites, like a tortoise and a hare, a dog and a cat, reuse and recycle, yin and yang, ink and whiteout. It is a clever and creative method to use. As for their personalities, they are all unique as well, especially the behavior and interactions between the sword daemon and their master, which was especially entertaining. So, Daemons of the Shadow Realm has a phenomenal first chapter, tons of mysteries and suspense, intense backstories, and entertaining and diverse daemons. But there are a few downsides to this series. First up, the real Asa starts off as this cold, scathing girl, but then turns into a total insecure softie. And I gotta say, I did not love that. I was sort of excited for a female MC who was a bit more cutthroat, who'd been toughened up by the reality of her craptastic situation. Instead, she gets these two conflicting personality types that started to grate on my nerves. And Yuru is also a tad generic, and I wish he had a more developed personality that came through a bit more clearly. His character arc could have been better executed earlier in the series, where he, by all rights, should have trust issues, anger, and resentment. And those feelings do come out occasionally, but I wish that they had been more prevalent to really lean into the emotional impact of his sham of a childhood. So with that, I actually preferred the supporting characters like Dara, Left, Right, and Jean because of their quirky and capable personalities. Lastly, after a crazy first chapter, I felt a little disappointed with the first few volumes. The twin MCs were a bit of a letdown, the danger level seemed to drastically change from murderous invaders to incompetent or weak daemons and stalkers, and we get some random interactions that I guess are funny, but more so come across as annoying filler. Luckily, things do start to intensify again in Volume 5, where the story seems to truly take off. So, Daemons of the Shadow Realm has an interesting story with a strong first chapter that really gets going around Volume 5. We've got a prophecy, daemons, assassins, and morally gray characters. And with so many mysteries and questions, it keeps your attention, especially because you're rooting for Yuru and Asa, two teenagers who deserve a better life but are forced into this cat and mouse existence. If that's the kind of story you're looking for, you may enjoy this series. And with the anime just getting started with an instant dub, let's hope it's got a good first season. Now it's up to you to decide if you want to spoil the anime by reading the manga first. If you've already checked out this manga or anime, let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for popping on to watch this review, and until next time, happy reading.